Hey guys, chapter 35. Can you believe it? You guys, welcome to my house. This is my bedroom. I usually don't have people over. This is my haven. This is my peace. This is where we've been creating for the last year. And so it's a very sacred place. But through the power of the internet, you get to see a little bit of my home. And anyways, I'm sitting here rocking my 816 hoodie, super soft. You guys, so it's my birthday weekend. I just made it home from celebrating with my family and friends. But I wanted to take a second to kind of give you a little bit more information of this organization and give you a little bit more of me. Give you a little bit more transparency and tell you a little bit of my story. And so my prayer is that you would listen to this message in its entirety. I will warn you, it will be a little bit longer. But I hope that we can have a heart-to-heart, even in the comments below. And if you're impacted by this, that you may share it, that you may comment below, and just let me know that you listen to this. So 816 is a nonprofit organization that is not specific to one type of loss or demographic. I specifically founded and modeled this organization after my own life. While the loss of my son inspired me to create this space where people could feel supported, understood, and acknowledged, I've endured many different types of loss. If you just started following me, you may not know what those are, and I will catch you up. If you have followed me for a while, you may know what some of those things are, but there's details that you don't know. In my documentary, I dive deep into each trauma and I discuss each one of them. But tonight, I am doing a quick highlight just so you kind of understand why I created the organization the way that I did. I suffered severe childhood trauma. I was molested from the time I was 5 to the time I was 15, on and off by 3 different men. I was also raped at 12 and raped again at 17 by 2 other men. And at 17, I lost my dad. He passed away from a massive heart attack. My father was the only man that I felt so protected by. I knew that as long as I was around my daddy, that I would be fine. And unfortunately, he worked a lot, so it gave room for other men to take advantage of that. At 20, I met my now ex-husband, and we were together for almost 11 years. In that time, I faced a lot of loss. I had 2 miscarriages, and on top of that, I had a lot of fertility issues. We went through IUI and started the process of IVF, and it was just this whole ordeal. And I was finally told that I would never have children, and so that was a different type of loss. After that, I also lost an uncle early on, and I lost a cousin. By the time I was 24, 2009, my mother passed away. Fast forward to 2016. I was faced with divorce, something I never thought would happen. And so 4 months after our divorce was final, I met my son's father. And as our relationship progressed, we agreed to start a family, which is how John Henry came about. So you can just imagine how incredibly excited I was after facing fertility issues for a whole decade. How John Henry was such a miracle, and how excited I was to finally feel my son and feel him kick inside of me, and his heartbeat, and know that everything was great. At almost 20 weeks, I lost him, and the way I lost him was the most traumatic of situations that I will go into here in a little bit. But so this organization, and just to kind of give you a backstory, I've gone to counseling after each one of those traumas, after each one of those situations, because I've had to grieve each one of them. With that being said, though, it wasn't until I met Christy Rucker over a year ago, or a little bit over a year ago, that my life really started changing, because it was a wholeness healing. It was a all well-rounded type mentality of counseling. She's not only a minister, but she also has a psychology degree, and she has a lot of experience with trauma patients. And so anyways, we're very fortunate to have her be a part of 816 and partner up with us. And so our program is open really to anyone that has faced any kind of trauma, any kind of loss, whatever that may look like for you. The heart of this organization is community. Stronger together is more than just a slogan. It's a diverse, all-inclusive mindset that understands that life is by nature highly interdependent. So because of what I've endured, we are able to provide an acknowledgement concept that says, we see you. Community that says, we understand you. And support that says, we're here for you. All while we're focused on the wholeness healing of body, soul, spirit through group fitness training, nutritional guidance, and then also individual and or group counseling. And so we're very fortunate to have people in our team that are able to help me put this program in place for people that, like me, that have experienced more than one type of loss. I can tell you, in the 14 plus years that I've gone to counseling, I was handed with brochures after brochures after brochures. And what I found out was that in order for me to address every single thing that I had gone through, I would have had to take in each one of these classes, and it would have become an almost a full-time job for me because I had experienced just so much. And so I kept thinking, where does a person like me go that has more than one issue to kind of process, more than one trauma to deal with, and understand that every one of those things is commingled into affecting one or the other. And my situation with the abuse, with my divorce, and just everything that happened created this rejection type issue that I had to address. And so now I'm on the other side of it. But I do want to go a little bit further with you guys. This is chapter 35 for me. And I am so grateful, so beyond grateful. I've been asked time and time again, Becca, how is it that you have so many people supporting you? How is it that you have this group of people around you just covering you? And I've tried to be very transparent in this process with you guys. I don't know if I've done a good job, but I've tried my best to be as transparent as I possibly can be in my journey, and as we've created this organization. I know this will come as a surprise to you guys, and I hope that you're still listening. Everything that I just told you guys, when I lost my son, everything came crashing down for me. Absolutely everything. It was a moment where I said, okay, God, I have served you through everything. Everything I mentioned to you guys just now, I've served you through the molestation. I've served you through the rape. I have served you through losing my father, through the fertility issues. I've served you through losing my mother. Those are all wounds that I was still able to endure and continue on. When I lost my son, that was different. And so everything that had happened, it was like my life flashed before me, and I said, no more. I am done, God. And so as a leader, I kept saying, where does someone like me go? Scratch the leader part out, but where does a person like me go that is fallen apart, that has hit rock bottom, In 2018, I tried to commit suicide 3 different times. So when you see all these people around me, it's because I've submitted. I've submitted to them. They know my story. They know where I was just a year ago. I have leadership. I have pastors, my family, my friends that I'm accountable to. As all this has happened, I'm incredibly accountable to them. And to be quite honest with you, I didn't think I was ready to start a nonprofit. But through the help of my family and friends, through the help of this amazing team that God orchestrated and put together, we did it. In my imperfection, God gave me this vision. My last attempt, when I tried to commit suicide, I was literally sitting there apologizing to God and just saying, God, I am so sorry. I know this is not okay. I know this is a sin. I know what your word says. I know. Please forgive me. I've been a leader in the church. I am sorry, but I cannot do this anymore. I had hope that you had a better future for me. I've pushed and pushed and pushed through it all. I've been tenacious, relentless. I've served you. I'm done. No more. So I found myself asking this. Where do you go when prayer, fasting, reading your Bible doesn't seem to work? Where do you go when you've done all you know to do? Where do you go when the torment in your mind seems to get stronger and stronger and you're filled with shame of even having thoughts about ending your life when you're a Christian and you should know better, when you're a leader and you know what God's word says? When you're a leader and you know better. Where does someone like me go? Where does someone like me go when you reach a level of rage and brokenness like I did? Where? The church? Let me remind you, I got pregnant out of wedlock. I was judged heavily. I didn't want to hear scripture. I didn't want to hear that it was going to be all right, especially by someone that had not gone through it. I didn't want to hear that God had a plan and that all of this was going to work for my good. I needed support. I needed people to sit with me with no judgment. I needed to feel. I needed to be. I needed someone to tell me, this sucks, Becca. This sucks. I needed validation that the feeling of rage and anger, that every level of grief was normal and that it was okay to feel every level of grief. That I was entitled to feel the way that I did because at the end of the day, I was a mother that literally lost her baby and literally saw my son die in my arms because his lungs were not fully developed. So he suffocated in my arms. I felt the last heartbeat on the palm of my hand. And I had him on the bathroom floor. I had to sit there and wait until the paramedics got there. I had to sit there and wait without being able to do a damn thing. That will jack you up in ways that I cannot even begin to tell you. I needed someone to allow me to run to the end of my emotions before trying to fix me. I hit rock bottom. Not only did I try to commit suicide several times, I was dealing with postpartum depression. It was literally in this home where I had a friend come to me and say, Becca, I don't know how to help you. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't want to say the wrong thing. All I know is that I want to be here for you. She didn't give me scripture. She didn't even pray for me. She literally just sat and said, I'll sit here in silence. I'll just be your companion. Sit here. And she did. And within 5 minutes, I broke. And I told her I'm not okay. I went from not ever drinking to drinking a bottle or two, maybe even 3 bottles of wine a day. Trying to cope, trying to deal with this mama's heart that was so broken. I had lost hope in God. I didn't understand why he would even allow me to get pregnant if he was going to remove my son. What was the purpose in that? Once I knew I could just be, that I didn't have to perform or try to impress, that I wasn't judged, but that I was seen, and that someone actually just cared, that I accepted what that person had to say. And in December of last year, in my last attempt to end my life, as I was apologizing to God, he gave me this vision for 816.org. And when I submitted to those around me and to Christy Rucker and my trainer, literally this program is what I did to get out of that darkness. So I believe in this program wholeheartedly because I know where I am now just a year later. I have literally put myself through this program before I even presented it to you. And my body, soul, spirit, it is so important to me that is the foundation of who we are, because I realized that people were telling me, Becca, just pray it through, pray it through, pray it through. While I was dealing with postpartum depression on a body level. Now, I'm not saying God is not able, but in the interim of believing that he would heal me, in the interim of God actually performing that miracle in my body, I needed medication. And because I was raised in such a way that you pray your way through it, you fast your way through it, I refused to take medication. In the process, I almost committed suicide. So it's okay to take medication and understand that we're tripart beings and that sometimes you have to deal with things on a body level while you're working on the spirit level. And let me tell you what I mean by that. We're focused on body, soul, spirit. Body is everything that comes in contact. It comes in contact with that was created from the ground. It's your dwelling, it's your process, it's how we speak, it's the 5 senses: sight, hear, and taste, smell, touch. That's what we have: training, fitness training, group fitness training, and nutritional guidance. Soul is inherited by your parents. It's the mind to think, the will to decide. It's your emotions, your heart to feel. It's your personality. It's what connects. It's the union between the body and the spirit. It's what connects us to people. Spirit is given by God at conception. It determines our identity. It's the core of who we are and what connects us to God. It's our spirit that comes in contact with God. So when people say, Becca, well, why didn't you get closer to God after you lost your son? How could I when I was angry with him? My relationship, do this? I was like, nah, I'm good. I am good, because obviously I do not believe in that you have plans to prosper me. I don't believe in that, or not harm me, because all you've done is allow harm in my life. So screw you. I am done with you. So this being affected this with people. And in turn affected my body. I didn't care for it. And I was reckless, toxic in my coping by drinking, partying heavily, doing whatever it is that I needed to do to cope. So me losing the 80 pounds that I lost in 2019 was a manifestation of everything that happened internally. So this is my life. You may not need this in this season, but I don't care who you are. I don't care what your title is. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what demographic you fit in, what your religious background is, what your sexual preference is. We all face loss at one point or another. And my goal, my vision, my mission is to make sure that I not only help people survive loss and the new normal that comes with that, but thrive. This is 816. It's my heart. It's my life. One that I'm trying to live every single day. So if you have faced trauma of any kind, or if you know of anyone that may need this program, that may need the support, that may need the community, they may need someone to just sit and say, I understand. Please contact us. You can contact us at 816.org. All of our information is there on our website. We're also on all social media platforms. But you guys, this is my life. While I am on the other end of it, I'm on the other side of it. I pray and hope that you give me the opportunity, if you so need it, if you need this, that you help me get you to this side. That you don't give up before you reach this side. Don't give up on me. And use my story, use me as an example, that it does get better. If you're going through anything, reach out. Everything we do is confidential. We are under HIPAA regulations for counseling. None of your information will be shared. Reach out to us. I promise you. Kiki Rucker is one of the best counselors that you will ever encounter. And while I may not have the psychology background she does, while I may not have the kinesiology background Christian Randolph does, I have the heart and I understand where you are. That's what I do have. And I have the willingness and the passion, the desire to help you in absolutely any way that I can. Now, through our 12-week program, and even after if you so need it. I'm going to end with this. If you're going through a hard time right now and you are not ready to reach out to us, I want you to do one thing for me. Get you this book. T.D. Jakes, Crushing. God Turns Pressure into Power. Y'all, look at this book. I'm not kidding you. I've read this book 3 different times. And as I was going through my situation, and as I was getting the healing that I needed, as I was working through every step of this process, I read this book. And it helped me so much. After God gave me that word, this book is the next reason why this was founded. He later on goes and asks, what will you do with your crushing? What will you do with your pain? Yo, I've literally read this book 3 different times. And I carry it with me everywhere, y'all. Look, I'm telling you, I'm embarrassed to show you guys this because it's a mess. But if you're not ready to reach out to me, get you this book and start reading it. The audio book, whatever you can do, Read it. I love y'all. Please reach out, if not to me, to anyone. But get help. Get the help that you need. There's no shame. I love y'all. This is 35. I'm so incredibly excited. I'm so thankful I made it to this day that I didn't believe a year ago whatever happened. 1 year, guys. God can turn your life completely around. And I want you to use me as an example of that. I love y'all. I love y'all. I hope you've watched this message in its entirety. And if any part of my story touched you, if you can relate to any part of my story, if you know anyone that can use our services, needs our resources, or has been through anything like I have, please share it. Please comment. Please tag them. Please spread the word of who we are. We're here to help. You'll have a great night.